Alright, folks, the basic Animal Kingdom life cycle worth 5 points on test 4. Let's get started. I've already gotten started. I'm going to have a diagram when I'm done that is a circle, and I've already split the circle in half with a line, and above the line I've put 2N, below the line I've put N, because we have a 2N part of our life cycle, a diploid part, and a haploid part of our life cycle. Alright. We're in the animal kingdom, so we can kind of relate to this. So we're mature organisms, are we not? And as mature organisms, are we mostly 2N or mostly N cells? 2N or N? We're mostly a big chunk of what? 2N cells. Yes, we are. And so what I'm going to put here top center on the 2N side is mature organism. Mature organism. And so, in the animal kingdom, mature organisms are a big chunk of 2N cells. Guys, when you see a pretty girl, you can think, wow, what a nice arrangement of 2N cells. That's what you can think. Sure you can. All right, how do we continue this life cycle? Well, someplace on that mature organism, as we know, there are structures called reproductive organs. Reproductive organs. I'm sure most of us are familiar with that concept, reproductive organs. And something happens in reproductive organs that takes the animal kingdom life cycle from the 2N side to the 1N or N side, diploid to haploid. There's only one process in nature. We've studied about it a bit, quite a bit actually. And what is the name of the process that turns diploid cells into haploid cells? I think it's meiosis, right? And so let's go ahead and cross that line and label that crossing meiosis. Meiosis. Meiosis takes a life cycle, any life cycle, including the animal kingdom life cycle, from the diploid to the haploid phase. Well, what does meiosis produce in the animal kingdom? And if we had to pick a G word, we'd pick what? Gametes, right? Gametes. And so, we know there's two different kinds of gametes, right? Male gametes and female gametes. Yes, egg cells and sperm cells. So let's just kind of write those words. Egg, sperm. All right, and so, how would a life cycle continue? How do we get around the bend? I think one of those has got to find one of those. Is that right? Yes, indeed. And so I'm going to kind of bring it around a circle here. And all these line means is egg meets sperm. That's all that means. And there's a term for that that we've talked about before. The egg actually joins the sperm joins the egg. What is that called? It's called what? Fertilization. 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 Yes, fertilization. And so crossing the line this way is fertilization. Crossing it this way is meiosis. Guess they're just the opposite. We already learned that, right? Yes, fertilization joins alleles, meiosis separates them. Opposite process. Fertilization, we go from 2N to 2N, meiosis 2N to N. Well, what's the name of the first cell produced by fertilization? We all know what that is. Notice where I have drawn it. Just barely across the line, or just across the line. It's the first 2N cell. What's it called again? A zygote. Yes, a zygote. And so we were all zygotes a few years back, and but we're not anymore. We're mature organisms, right? Fairly mature anyway. And so, what process turns a zygote into a mature organism? What cell division process? Not this one. This one has only one little mission, and that is to turn 2N cells into N cells. So it must be mitosis, right? And I'm going to put a little immature stage in here called the embryo. And And so I want to connect the zygote to the embryo and the embryo to the mature organism. So the process that turns the zygote into an embryo is called mitosis. And more mitosis turns that embryo into a mature organism. And so there, ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of squash circle due to the lack of space here. On a big board, I'd make it look like a little better circle, but you get the point. This is a life cycle that goes round and round, and on we go. And so let's make sure we've answered the questions on your study guide. In the animal kingdom, are mature organisms mostly diploid or mostly haploid cells? Mature organisms, they're mostly what? Diploid cells. Yes, we are, diploid cells. What process takes a life cycle from the diploid to the haploid? Diploid to haploid, that must be what? Meiosis? Yes, indeedy. In the animal kingdom, where does this process take place? Maybe in reproductive organs? Yeah. In the animal kingdom, what is produced by meiosis? These gametes? Yeah. What process takes the life cycle from the haploid to the diploid? Haploid to diploid. What process gets us across the line going this way? Must be fertilization. Egg meets sperm. Yes, fertilization. What is the name of the first cell produced by this process? I think it's a zygote, right? It's a zygote. A zygote in any kingdom is always what chromosome number? A zygote in any kingdom is always what chromosome number? In general, 2N. A zygote is the first 2N cell as we go around this life cycle. A zygote is 2N. Why is that? Because every egg and sperm cell in any kingdom are always what chromosome number? N. And so N plus N produces a zygote, which is 2N. Egg meets sperm. N plus N equals 2N. All right. What process changes a single-cell zygote into a multicellular organism? Zygote, multicellular organism, the mature organism, it must be what? Mitosis. Last question. On which side of the animal kingdom life cycle does mitosis occur? Only one place I see mitosis. Which side is it on? I think it's on what? This side. I guess that's the 2N side. Is that right? Yeah. Occasionally have students tell me the top side, but I could rotate this 180 and it'd still be the same diagram. It's not the top or bottom side. The point is mitosis takes place only on the 2N side. Only on the 2N side, at least routinely. We're going to learn about an exception in a few minutes. This right here for 5 points is your basic animal kingdom life cycle. Okie dokie, that's it.